I'm live. I have to put my glasses on. Uh, every video, every live I do, I've got to find the live on my phone so that I'll be able to see the chat, live chat, if it comes up. It's not, oh, there it is. Well, I think that's what it is, yeah. And I need you guys to remind me that the object is to look back at 2019. And I need you guys to remind me that because I'm forgetful. I start to ramble on. I've even made videos where I start to say something, don't finish it. There's our first comment, David W. Are you at the casino? Yeah, I'm in the casino parking lot. A friend of mine invited me up here to have breakfast and dinner with him. And he basically stays in the casino parking lot. He thinks it's one of the best spots he can hang out now. So he's been here probably 10 days or something, or a week, something like that. And in fact, there's probably about 40, 50 motorhomes at the far end of the parking lot from the casino. And the casino seems to enjoy having them here. Hi, Gus. That's from semi-retired Bob. Hi there, Sam. I'm fully retired, but I was semi-retired for a long time. That just means underemployed usually, or not paid very much. And Isabel, great to see you. David Anderson, hey there, hi. You guys are the first 3 and 4 people here. Who did I miss? Mario Boudrian Studio. Hey there. I'm oh, the traveling art guy. Thank you very much. I was think that last night I saw, not last night or the night before, I saw somebody doing a live, and he was like, "Hey, I want super chats. I want $300 from super chats. Send $300 with super chats." I'm super happy to get $13.95. Thank you very much, traveling art guy. Gas, yeah, I don't use gas. I use diesel, and I'm in the cheapest part of the cheapest state or province that I'm going to be in all year. It's $3.15 a gallon or something like that, which is half the price I pay in Vancouver, less than half the price I pay in my own city. And so I'm kind of happy. I'm quite willing to drive around a little bit down here. Bill in Texas. Hey man, how are you doing? And RV Ashes in April. Hey, I watched some of your videos, you know. I'm happy to see you here watching some of mine, or at least on my live anyway. My video, the views have gone up quite a bit recently. I don't know what it is. It certainly isn't because I shave. Everybody told me about things that I missed, and then I came home and discovered, or I didn't come home, after I put all that stuff away, I realized I didn't shave off any of this stuff. And right in here, it's all messed up. But I'll get to it, or I'll just leave it for a couple of days and no one will notice. I don't know which is the best solution. It's actually a joke by my cousin, since I can't drive my big rig anywhere due to heart surgery. My cousin asked if I was semi-retired. Yeah, well, for me, semi-retired was I had a corporate kind of job, and I just basically got pissed one day. It's like, take this job and shove it. That's how I felt. I mean, I didn't say that. I liked my boss. I liked my job. I respectfully resigned and gave him some notice. And then, I'll tell you the whole story. My father died when he was 50. And so I decided that sometime when I was in my 20s, I said to somebody, I should live my life so that I can retire when I'm 45. Well, it turns out I quit my job, and then within weeks I rolled out of my bed, and it was my 45th birthday. And at that moment I decided not to look for another corporate kind of job, because that's what I was doing. And I decided, well, I'm just going to try and make money doing stuff I like. And so I was semi-retired from 45 on, which to me I work twice as much as before, but I was doing stuff I like. It's kind of like YouTube. I like creating YouTube videos, so it's not like work. But if I ever got super serious about it and tried to do it in a different way, then it would be like work, and I would want to stop doing it. So semi-retired is doing stuff you love, or doing stuff you like, or living the life the way you want to or need to, and to hell with money. At least that's the way I look at it. Oh, there's another super chat. That came from Julie's Journey. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. These super chats they become really useful. In fact, some months, like I don't know, I haven't looked this month, but some months my revenue from AdSense will not get to the $100 threshold, and if I was, like, for example, if I was at the moment $20 away from that threshold, I'd almost be at the point where you would suddenly turn on a check next month instead of no check. So for example, these super chats are really, really useful. They really help a lot, and thanks a lot. So I've got to go back and see if I've missed anybody. Does the casino limit you guys and how long you can stay? I just got here yesterday, and I spent the night in a nice parking lot, and it doesn't seem that anybody's limited. I was told there's somebody that's down there that's been here for months, and so a lot of these people are here. I mean, I kind of don't get it, because you know, like my friend is here for a few days, then he's going to go to the RTR, and he will camp out in the desert quite often. But he came here and discovered that it was quite nice here, and the people that are hanging out here are pretty cool too. The casino doesn't seem to mind anybody. In fact, they probably love it. When I went in the casino, there were not too many people there, so if every one of these motorhomes went in there and spent $10, $20 in that casino in a day, that's a lot of revenue. So I can see how the casino might think that it helps their business. Who else we got on here? Another question. What I wanted to say here is that you guys and all the people that I've met in 2019 made my year. That was the most important thing I have to say. But so I better say it or else I'll forget it. It's actually a big joke. Oh yeah, we read that. Love the way you look. Too bad I'm in Quebec. Isabel. I'm a 70-year-old fart. Kind of joking about that. I don't even think in terms of male-female relationships anymore. I meet people and I don't even necessarily think of them as one or the other. I'm just too old and bored with that stuff. How much are tires for the bus? Well, it's like I think the tires that I buy are depending on what store I go to, they're roughly about $150 each, and I've got, I don't have 4, I've got dualies on the back, I've got 6. So it's about $1,000 to replace the tires. But because I've got dualies on the back, I've got 2 pretty good real good ones that I bought when I bought 2.5 years ago. So they've only taken 3 trips to California, which is what, about 12,000 miles. And the other ones on the inside are actually used tires, and I often buy them. I've actually had to buy 3 used tires, and I think the average cost is about $60. But I can put a used tire beside the better ones on the back, because otherwise, every time, if I didn't do work like that, every time one tire had a problem, I would have a 4 times $150 or $600 to replace all the back with new ones. Hey there, Gus. Enjoy your vids. Good, thanks. That's from Betty Brigance. It almost looks like brilliance. Mr. Susie's here too, or Ms. Susie's here too. Nomadic Tactical. Hey Gus, I met you at the last RTR at Camp Robotech. We're going back to the same spot, and I remember you. You were playing the drums. Well, too. You were doing it. Anyway, I remember you. I wouldn't have remembered you because if I just have a bland memory of the event, because I think you came kind of late, or I didn't meet you until near the end. But Hobotech says he's going back to the same spot. I'm going back to the same spot. I think Saznak, if he's coming, is going back to the same spot. The Party R is going back to the same spot. So I believe if everybody goes back to, my belief anyway, is that if everybody goes back to more or less the same spot they went to for previous RTRs, then the RTR did not die. It will continue exactly as it has before. And we could do that year after year after year, and the same ethos or the same culture would continue on and remain, right? But otherwise, if people start to scatter around, kind of make brand new plans, then the RTR will eventually dissipate because it's spread out all over the place, and people won't be attending anymore. It won't be the same kind of event. Ms. Susie says, gotta run, getting my hair cut before the new year. Well, that's a good idea. That's what I did. Happy New Year to you. Oh, that's Susie writing to Islis. Well, why can't I pronounce that? So what? I'm 60. Yeah, well, you know, yes, I don't feel very old. It's kind of funny. I turned 70, and I think I felt older when I was 65. I kind of feel younger and more energetic since I got on a bus and started traveling around. I don't know that that's the case with everybody that would have changed to this lifestyle, because it could be easier. In other words, you could like park right here at the casino, walk down there to use the washroom if you want, go and get a coffee down there. Sometimes the coffees are free. But there's a restaurant, sandwiches, and you know, like a, what do you call it, a sandwich bar type of place, or a coffee shop type of place. So you could sit here and, you know, go down and get your morning coffee and use the washroom and come back to your motorhome or van and watch TV, and, you know, go down there for lunch and come back, watch TV. You could basically have the same sedentary lifestyle that you have, that some people have in their home. So it may not get people up and out and about, but it certainly will allow you to meet new people. I got here last night. I met 3 people, and 2 of them were camped near me at the RTR last year, but I don't recall meeting them. You are not too old, Gus. You really are as old as you feel. Well, that's exactly true. I don't feel old. I'm not too old for anything. I can do everything once that I once did. Meaning I can do everything just as well as I ever did. I just don't have the stamina to do it like for as long. So who's Mrs. 60, sometimes 60, sometimes I feel 100, but today is a good day. Yeah, well, that's the same with me. I feel good today. How about miles on your bus, Gus? Bill in Texas is asking me about miles. Yeah, I'm Canadian, so the bus had 225,000 kilometers, which is maybe 180 or 200,000 miles when I bought it, and I put on another 12,000 miles, so it's around 200 or 220,000 miles. And this is a diesel, and it's a Power Stroke. The diesel engine will live longer than I do. I can't drive 500,000 miles. The only problem I would think could really be expensive is the transmission. It's an automatic transmission, and you know, it could just fry or go anytime. So, but the motor's likely to last a lifetime. So I don't expect huge expenses, and if the transmission does go and I can't get it repaired cheaply or replaced with a manual transmission, which would be my preference, then I'll just scrap the bus. It's only worth, in American dollars, it's worth about $3,500. In Canadian, I bought it for 45. So it's not worth spending 6,000 on a transmission or anything like that. And the insides I can unscrew in 10 minutes and take out of the bus. And it's so inexpensive to rebuild what I do have, I can pretty well leave it wherever it dies. I'm sort of kidding. I have to get it towed to a junkyard or something, and the junkyard might pay me enough to put a smile on my face. So I'm not, because it's a 1995 and the mileage was pretty low, I'm not expecting too much of that to happen. Still lots of these this age van driving around. Whose age doesn't matter. My current boyfriend is 28. Okay, my ex before my current boyfriend was the same age as Gus. Ho 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 ho! Come back to Vancouver. We'll see you in the summertime. I'm just kidding. Maybe we'll see you in Quartzsite. Yeah, you will. If you're gonna be there during the RTR, you will definitely see me. Oh, by the way, the other day I did a video about how I can't find Wi-Fi. I was trying to find Wi-Fi because I had my cell account had already used up all its data and they slowed me down. And so last night, before I paid them some more money and upgraded the account. So last night, before I went to sleep, my data speed was 0.1 megabyte a second. No, 0.15 megabytes a second for download and 0.5 for upload. Then this morning I woke up, my cell service renewed itself because it's the new day, it's my new month, and now I'm running my live video through the cell service. So there's no Wi-Fi here. I've no Wi-Fi whatsoever, but I'm getting super fast service. And see, there's no lag like there is sometimes when I do a live at like Starbucks or something. So that was my big complaint, is that my phone was on slow-mo because they slowed me down because I used like 100 gig of data or something. And everywhere I went that had Wi-Fi, that offered Wi-Fi, they were super slow too. So I had a huge problem uploading my videos. Anyway, now I'm back to fast. I'm back to happy. I'm back to Gus the happy camper. I'm almost 64. You're as old as you feel. Yeah, we did that. Why do we keep talking about me being old? Shit, I felt old. How would I put it? I don't feel old, but I sure do when people start talking to me about being old. How much gas would you estimate you spend US dollars from BC to Arizona? 500 bucks. It's not an estimate, it's 500. 500 from Vancouver to LA and another 100 to get to Arizona. And then if I buy fuel in Arizona to go back, it'll be $90 because it's be about $10 or $15 cheaper to buy fuel in Arizona. But I've been down Vancouver to California, each way is 500 bucks. So I can't afford to just go down like for a month and then go back. And then, like, one of the things about living this lifestyle is that you can drive 50 miles a day and you can probably fit that into your budget. But if you drive 1,500 miles in a couple of days, and then a couple of days later, after me going to LA, I decide I'm going to drive to Miami, I would need an enormous budget. But if you're always driving little slow distances, it's good. I was camped at the Hubotech, or the Hobotech, that it would have been, because you've got spell check like me, Mikey D. I typed something in, I know I spelled it right, and then Apple just changes it to some other word. Anyway, yeah, I was at the Hobotech camp, and the little red truck in the back met you for an hour or so on the meeting, and again this year. Happy New Year! Awesome, Mickey D, Mike. Where did I meet you this year? Anyway, the problem is, one of the problems that I have is that people will tell me their name, and sometimes it's a YouTube name because we're discussing things in YouTube land, and sometimes it's and sometimes I'm putting them in YouTube and telling people how to get a hold of them. So sometimes I don't even end up knowing their real name. Might sound kind of dumb, but I only know them by their YouTube name, or Instagram or something. Anyway, so it's tough for me to remember names. I pretty well remember faces. If somebody came up to me and I didn't recognize them, and they said, "Yeah, I met you at like Joe's Plumbing, and we were talking about toilets," I would instantly remember who they are, even a decade later, even if it was only a minute conversation. So my mind remembers conversations, but it doesn't connect the conversation to the face, and it doesn't connect names to faces. It's more likely to connect a name to the conversation. Do you understand that? It seems kind of weird, but so sometimes people will go, "Well, you met me last year," and I go, "Oh yeah, I did." Anyway, I laugh at myself, but people sometimes feel hurt by that. It's my philosophy in life is pretty simple. It's because I'm so forgetful. I don't care if anybody forgets meeting me. If they remember later on, that's great. But it doesn't like hurt me. I don't really expect them to remember me. But it makes me feel really bad when if somebody feels like they weren't recognized or acknowledged or whatever. I really feel badly when I don't remember the name, but it's just, you know, some of us are made differently, I guess. And my eyes, this one, if I do this, I can't even see my phone. This one has a huge cataract in it, and I'm gonna just close my eyes. I can see the arm that goes over my ear now, but if I move it to there, I can't see it. It's gone. This eye is so blurry, it's really bad. So unless somebody's got a lot of good light on their face, I won't recognize them. And if the sun's behind them, there's no way I'm going to recognize a person's face because they're a silhouette and I don't see enough detail. My eyes are just crappy. Now anyway, how did I get off on that tangent? That's kind of crazy. Okay, Lindsay, how much in gas would you estimate you spend in US dollars? Yeah, we did that, but gas is pretty simple. I get 11 miles to the gallon, and I'm Canadian and I don't use kilometers because I'm kind of too old and got lazy to fully integrate that. And when I'm going to the States, I'm driving miles. So it's 1,200 miles to California or to Los Angeles, roughly. And if I'm getting 11 miles to a gallon, the cost is always dependent on how much those gallons of diesel are. But I can drive, for example, I drove from Los Angeles to Ehrenberg, which is the border to California, between Arizona and California, and I had put $100 worth of fuel in, and I drove here for a week. Then I just the other day put in another 100, and my tank is full because I haven't driven too much. I think I've driven maybe 100 miles since I got to Arizona and I've been here for about a week or more. County of Portneuf and you. Oh, can't figure that one out. Portneuf. Oh, that's not even addressed to me anyway. when you meet a lot of people, it's hard to it's hard to remember names. And I actually love meeting people, but like I went down to the Flying J there the other day, and I was sitting there trying to get connected to the Wi-Fi, and a man came and talked to me, and had a motorhome that had been hit by a truck. And then a couple came along. I can't remember where they were from, but anyway, they were going to go to the RTR, and we were going to see them at the RTR. And then a guy came along, and I told him I was going down to this Ehrenberg cleanup place to park. If he doesn't have a place to go, he should come and join some other people. So I had 3 people talk to me in like an hour, and all of whom would hope that I recognize them when I see them again. But, you know, just it'd be the wrong way. John Chalker's here. I didn't notice you there. Gosh, it's okay. Happy New Year. Have a suggestion. What were you were talking about with your left video about how you were having a sucky service? Yeah, my sucky service was all to do with my bill not being paid, kind of. In other words, I bought a $40 package that would give me 10 gigabytes, and then it would slow down. And I didn't care if it slowed down, because I could always go to like a Starbucks or someplace that offered Wi-Fi. But when I couldn't find a place offering Wi-Fi that was faster than my slow phone, I had a problem. And so I actually came to Parker, because in Parker I knew I could buy from what do you call it, from Walmart. I could buy a voucher for my T-Mobile. There wasn't necessarily one available anywhere else. There might have been, I just didn't look for it. So once I bought the voucher, then I could update my phone, and there was no point in updating last month, like updating it a day early. So today I'm on fast Wi-Fi, and this is super fast. I'm super happy with this. And this is sort of what I would have everywhere if well, I should have, because they're not supposed to slow me down with this package. I'm paying more, $10 more. If I knew I could have gotten fast Wi-Fi every day, all day, for $10 instead of fast Wi-Fi for 4 days, I would have bought it for sure before. But I didn't know this package existed. You're planning to be this far south the full winter? Do you even make plans? Well, Betty, I'm a Canadian, and when I do income tax, there's a question there that says, have you been out of the country longer than 6 months? I think if an American went to Canada, or I mean, an American does his income tax, he probably gets the same question, because that question applies to all kinds of things. Like in my case, if I was to live out of my province for 6 months, then my free medical, Canadian free medical, wouldn't apply. If they may attack some part of my pension if I was living out of the country. I don't know what part or how much. I don't need to investigate. I know they will probably reduce it, so I just won't stay out of the country longer than 6 months. So I'm going back to Vancouver in the spring, and then, you know, I'm not really sure, but like, in other words, if I have an expense, if I have to pay $500 to fix something on my truck, that'll be $500 worth of fuel that I don't use to get somewhere. So I don't make plans in the sense that I don't promise people things. I make plans, but they're always like short term, and what can I do this month with the income that I have this month? And that's really how I live. But I do plan to go back to Vancouver in, well, either sometime in April. I might go, you know, in the previous, I had planned to go September 1st, come south, and then go back in April, but I had 2 grandchildren, and they kept me here longer each 2 of those years, so I don't have to be back in Vancouver until almost like middle of May, something like that. But I'm going to go back probably sometime in April, because May is a beautiful month in Vancouver. It's worth being there. Thinking, gee, I'm not getting any more chats. Maybe because I'm reading them too slow. Why do people pay? Why do they pay to attend RTR? No one pays to it. Oh, the RTR was an event where a whole bunch of people got together and camped in the desert. And as it grew, they started to do workshops and seminars for people. So to do workshops and seminars, with a larger crowd, they needed a sound system and a stage and porta potties and dumpsters because a large number of people came. So all of that got to be too expensive for the organizers of RTR to continue to provide these workshops where the campers were. And, you know, it would just get too expensive and too unwieldy. So if they decided to put the event in a fairgrounds, and I don't think they ask people an admission price. I think they're asking for a $5 donation or something like that. So I think why do people pay to attend RTR? I think it's kind of a misguided question. No one is actually paying, although there probably is sort of a bit of pressure to donate $5. But I'm sure other people will donate $100. It's really a donation to cover the costs of renting the fairgrounds. The fairgrounds can't be inexpensive. And they've probably figured out how to, how much that will be, etc. Isabel, why do people attend? Do you ever think of getting a cat or a dog? Well, it wouldn't be a small dog if I got a dog. And in all seriousness, how would I put it? I had dogs all my life, and I had dogs with my wife and my kids till I was in my 40s. I had the dog all my life. But I don't need them so much. In other words, I don't need companionship, and often I would feel badly leaving my bus for like 4 hours, or even for a day, or even flying home for a week, or any of these things. That dog becomes a liability to me. So I like dogs. I like to play with my friends' dogs, and that's good. And it's kind of like a grandfather loves his grandchildren, but don't give them to me for a week. I want to visit them for a couple hours, and that's it. And I don't want, you know what I'm trying to say? So a dog to me fits that kind of description. It's like just gets in it. It's really, really strange. I do not need a companion. I have no use for a companion if a companion is demanding attention, or demanding that I be there. You know what I'm trying to say? So I have had that all my life. I've had people or things, I've had responsibilities all my life, and I basically manage them pretty well most of the time. But a dog doesn't. A dog is just another responsibility. I don't need to love a dog. I can love the guy at the gas station that came to say hi to me, or hug a woman that walks down the street. I'm a loving person, and I get to love everybody. I don't need a dog to make it a special sort of situation. Thank you for your answer. I'd love to send VC in May. Take care. I'd love to send VC. I don't know what that means. No idea. But thanks, Betty. I'm being told that it's extremely cold this time of year in Quartzsite. Right now it's cold. My experience down here and in Southern California and in Arizona is kind of funny, because the first year I came down to California, I was there for 6 months. It rained one day, and it was usually about 70 or 80 degrees every day, except for a few cloudy days in 6 months. The next year I came down, there was about a week of sort of chilly weather, but I went home early, and we had the worst winter in like 20 years in Vancouver in February, because I had gone home early, so that was like the worst winter. Then I came down here this year, and it's totally unseasonal. I mean, it's totally weird. Most days are cloudy, very humid, not always raining, but sometimes it's raining, and then every 4 days we've been having a sunny day. So this year it's really cold. This morning it was probably in Fahrenheit probably 33, or 1 degree above zero in Celsius. So it was almost freezing. Well, it's freezing to me, because you wake up and start to walk around, you realize I've got to turn my buddy heater on. But now I'm sitting around with no heat on in the bus. This is a comfortable temperature, and all I've got is a shirt and a jacket. But I don't know what the temperature is now. It's probably about 55 Fahrenheit, something like that, maybe 60. Heat Seeker Bus had a video where they had snow. Yeah, he's about 100 miles away, and they would have it. He's at a higher altitude and about 100 miles away in California, and he had snow, and we had down here. We just didn't. It got very cold. It could have been snowing if it was raining, but it wasn't. There was no moisture. But it's amazing. I live on the coast in Vancouver, and there's like the highest humidity in the world, I think. But here the humidity is 80% and cold, and 80%, but so it feels really humid, even though it's a desert. There's almost no snow here. Oh yeah, you guys back east, I think you're getting a better winter than we are out west. Like right now, my previous experiences in this area, it should be set between 70 and 80 degrees right now, and it's not. It's about 50, meaning it should be room temperature or hotter. And you know, it's, how would I put it? It's gray days. I left Vancouver because the days are gray and wet, and so coming down here the first little while, it's been a little depressing, but I'm kind of getting used to it. So we've got 31 people in chat, and I've got these notifications keep popping into my, like from Facebook and stuff. I've been finding it kind of funny. I'm going to go to, oh, by the way, I've got to remind you guys about, I got to go back and thank the Traveling Art Guy and Jules for those super chats, because I sometimes forget to acknowledge them to the extent that I should. So the title of my live was about reviewing 2019. The other day, yesterday, I thought, oh, I'm going to make a video, review all the cool things I did in 2019 or something. And then I started to look at all the videos I made in 2019. Wow, I don't know, there's 365 days in a year, and I probably missed maybe 20. So there's probably 300 videos this year that I was scrolling through. And when I started making YouTube videos, I told everybody that I'm shooting my day as my day takes place, and therefore at the end of the day, I basically, when I create a video, I'm kind of looking at a diary. A diary or a journal entry. So when I've turned it on and looked at the year's worth of videos, I mean, first of all, I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling back, and then when I started looking at the videos, I went, oh yeah, look what I did then, look what I did then. So not only did I get the advantage of creating a kind of daily diary, which is supposed to be psychologically or maybe emotionally or even spiritually beneficial to people. I had never done it because I would have to take a, write and then I would be like basically writing something I could read. And I don't like reading and writing. So I never did a diary. Once I started YouTube, I was creating a diary. And now when I look back at a whole year's worth of videos, I have an amazing life. Even though I think my life is pretty boring, because from day to day, not much changes. But through a year, a lot changes. And if my intention was to scroll through that list and pick out videos where I had a cameo of somebody I met. So I could have make a video that was just a whole bunch of shots of different people, and I could, different interactions with people, different conversations, the models I shoot, that kind of stuff, and build a video with all these different wonderful people that I had met. But then I looked at it and went, I've got to look at 300 videos to get like, 200 faces out of there. So it became too big a job. So we're doing it on live instead. I'm just expressing my appreciation for being lucky enough to be doing YouTube videos. Have I ever weighed the bus at a scale? Lindsay, you have to, when you transfer a commercial vehicle and get it converted to a non-commercial status, you have to weigh it because the weight of the vehicle determines its status or the type of registration that you can have. But yeah, you have to weigh it, and you have to have it in, at least in my province, and I think it's the same throughout North America, you have to weigh it and you have to have it inspected. And weighing it is part of the it's part of the inspection. I can't remember how many pounds or kilograms it was, but this is a 1-ton Econoline van with a school bus box on it, and the school bus box is very light because it's mostly aluminum. When you see, if you've seen videos, people have talked about getting like magnets to put things on the wall and hang things on the ceiling. Magnets don't work on aluminum, so I have, I have to use something like Velcro to do the same thing. Oh, Heather Wilcox says the weather is supposed to be warm up there. I'm hoping you mean up here, up where I am. But if you're in Mexico, that's how I look at the map, so I would think you must be south of me. I don't know. But I hope it's, or maybe you're saying the weather's supposed to be nice to Isabel because she's up north. 5% provincial tax in BC, yeah, something like that. I think it's if 5% tax might be fuel. I don't know what you're talking about. The sales tax in a store, I think, is 12%. What does this say? I just found your videos and enjoy watching your adventures. Photos are good and your knowledge is good as well. Keep them coming. That's from Betty. Thanks, Betty. I have been, photography is, how would I put it? I have been a professional photographer, but one of the things that most photographers don't really understand is that you really have to be you end up being a specialist. In other words, being good at, being very good at some part of the photography process. Interestingly enough, because I work with people in portraiture, I'm actually more concerned, I actually think my skill is working with people rather than, getting exactly perfect settings for my camera and perfect lighting. I do all of that reasonably well, but my skill has always been working with the people, having them feel comfortable and feel confident while they're doing it. Anyway, so Jack Scrapper, Hey, how are you doing, man? I watch your videos, get a huge chuckle out of some of them, but you're not making enough of them. And yes, I'm in Parker. I'm at the casino. Where are you? If you're around here, come visit. I'm right at the entrance, more or less. You drive in. I'm like 200 feet from the entrance with Gus and a bus all over my bus. Actually, it would be fun to have people come by and visit. I haven't thought of that though. So I've been on here for, I don't know, it's not saying here. How long have I been on line for? 45 minutes. I gotta get going, guys. 45 minutes is too long to be spending sitting here lazy like this. I'll get up and I'll start to, if I start to walk, I'll be wobbling all over the place because my feet aren't in order. Last chance for a super chat. I'm kidding. Remember the other day, I told you the other day somebody came on and they went, I need that guy was talking about hundreds of dollars. I need so many hundreds of dollars so that it comes on my YouTube paycheck next month. And yeah, super chats are useful, but his whole concept, the only reason he came on live was to get those super chats. I just found, okay, I've got no one. Oh yeah, it was nice to catch up to you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope I'm going to be, next time out, I hope I'm going to be in a sort of out in the country or something, or down by the river. In Arizona, the most beautiful spots are right by that river. So maybe I'll go down, camp in one of those areas tomorrow. Anyway, Happy New Year. I think I'll make a video tomorrow about something. I don't know. But if not, this will be the last chance to say it. So Happy New Year. I give you guys a thumbs up. I'm really happy to have any subscribers. Like 1 year ago right now, I had about 40 subscribers, and they didn't even comment. They didn't even watch YouTube. They subscribed because they were my friend and I made them. And so now I've got new subscribers, a whole bunch of new friends, and hopefully I'll get to I'll get to 3,000 before the end of January, like just because of the RTR and other events. Anyway, Happy New Year, you guys. If you didn't shave, you better shave before New Year's. I'm just kidding. Anyway, see ya. Bye-bye. Time to turn it off.